Hey everybody, it's Gomodex and welcome back to another Tinkerer's Cube Draft on Magic Arena. Another pack with another pretty decent stack of very solid cards for different strategies. As always in Cube, you're always going to get great stuff in your opening pack in general. We've got Field of the Dead for the multicolored, heavily non-basic land-filled decks. There's also Golos in this cube, so if we can get Golos and Field of the Dead, that'll be absolutely ridiculous. There's Archon of Sun's Grace, which works great in two different strategies in this cube. In the white-black life gain decks, it's great for gaining life, and then if you have any enchantments in that deck, incidentally, getting extra Pegasuses with lifelink is great, or I guess Pegasi. And in the white-green Enchantress deck, it's obviously great because every time you're playing an enchantment, you're getting a 2/2. Really brutal card in that strategy. We've got Woe Strider, which is great in like black-red Sacrifice or just any black-based deck. This is a really solid card in general. And other than that, I think those are definitely the most exciting cards. But you got like Gitu Lava Runner for mono red, but this always goes late in the packs, so that's definitely not a high pick there. I think I'm going to roll with Field of the Dead. It's definitely the farthest from any strategy I've tried before. Every time I've played this cube so far, I've played only like 2-color stuff, and definitely not like a huge amount of non-basic lands or anything. So let's try to Field of the Dead deck. If it stays pretty open here, we can definitely roll with that. So in a deck with Field of the Dead, you're going to want a lot of mana fixing, mana ramp, that kind of stuff, more often than not. And that kind of play, those kinds of cards will all combo well with Multani as well, because Multani gets larger for each land you control. Multani is absolutely brutal too, because Multani can keep coming back from the graveyard with that secondary ability for only 2 mana. So Multani, really fantastic card here. I think we definitely love to pick it up with the Field of the Dead. Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy pick there. And Field of the Dead decks do tend to be pretty green focused, because green is where you get all of that mana ramp and stuff. All right, what do we have now? We've got a green-red dual land, which is going to be great. We're very likely to be playing green and red. At the very least, this is a green land that scries 1 when it comes into play and has a different name than our basic lands, which is important for Field of the Dead, so I like Temple of Abandon here. There's Aluna, Apex of Wishes, double blue and a hybrid red or green, and then 3 more to mutate it. You mutate it onto something, it turns into a 6/6 flying trample, and you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land permanent, and you put it on the battlefield or into your hand. So in a deck with a really high curve, this can do a lot of fun, random things. It's a pretty difficult cost, though, and it is really bold to run a deck with a very high curve, because there are very powerful aggressive decks in this format, as you can tell by the fact that Active Treason, Shock, and Infuriate are all in this cube. So can do a lot of things, but it is quite a slow card with a difficult mana cost, so it's a pretty bold pick. Bloodthirsty Aerialist, fantastic for black-white life gain. Unbreakable Bond for like green-black Reanimator. I'm actually just going to roll with the Temple here over Aluna. Might be a little bit of a boring pick, but I really want to pick up that mana fixing heavily if we do end up being able to play Field of the Dead. That being said, I'm not seeing anything here that really combos that well with it either. I think in a slower deck that is likely to be like red-green or something, Sweltering Suns can be quite good. Dealing 3 to each creature, or if there's not a lot of stuff on the board, you can just cycle it. Or if everything on the board is yours, you can cycle it as well. But this is a fine way to slow down aggressive decks and give you more time to start doing your large plays like Multani or Field of the Dead combos. I think Sweltering Suns is pretty solid here. Alright, I think we take another dual land here, but we can look over the cards. I don't think there's anything that combos particularly well with anything we have going on. A lot of cheap cards in this pack, everything like 3 or less, except like Huatli, but that really wants you to have a lot of creatures to be great, or in an aggressive deck, that -X ability is quite nice. Yeah, none of this stuff seems like really for our deck, except the Temple, so we'll scoop that up. Now, what do we have? Well, another dual land, the Scattered Groves. It's a dual land for green or white, and we can cycle it, so that's pretty solid. Some aggressive cards. What do we have in green? Lord of Extinction can be really big if you're self-milling or if your opponent's milling a lot, which is cool. Momentous Fall, you can sacrifice like a really big creature to gain a lot of life and draw a lot of cards, but it's It's really best in response to like your opponent's removal spell on one of your big creatures. I don't think we're really a Momentous Fall deck either. I think it's like Kenrith's Transformation or Scattered Groves. This card's actually pretty good in this format because it shuts off all of the abilities of whatever you put it on. And there's a lot of really important abilities in the format because there's so many like build-arounds and stuff. I think I'm just going to take the non-basic though. If I get enough of these like just random dual lands early enough on, we could really go for like some 5-color nonsense. I think green's going to be our main color, so Dawnshredder Elk's pretty nice to be able to search for whatever land we need at the time. There's an argument for Temple of Malice too, helps trigger the Field of the Dead, and it's another dual land. We can really get off the ground running for 5-color. Omen of the Forge as well, if we're mainly green-red, which we'd like to be with a double red at only 3 mana off of Sweltering Suns. That can just get rid of an early creature, and then you scry 2 later on. Some solid stuff here. This is actually a pretty hard pick between the Temple and the Dawnshredder Elk, but I think those are the best picks. I'm going to take the Elk here. Not super confident in that one. Hunt the Weak, Shivan Fire, Destiny Spinner, Mask of Immolation. I think it's basically just Shivan Fire or Destiny Spinner. Hunt the Weak is going to be too slow, really. So if we're taking a non-land, it's one of those two. We probably just take the green-blue-red land, though. It's pretty perfect. It's got green and red in it. It's got 3 colors in it. We can cycle it if we want. Let's take that non-basic. Want to get a ton of those, so we are triggering Field of the Dead very consistently whenever we draw it. I don't love anything in this pack either. We're not likely to have a ton of creatures, so Fiend Artisan won't be great. Same with like Warbriar Blessing. And all of these cards are just not very synergistic for an aggressive deck, for a deck with a lot of instants or sorceries, and it's blue. I think we're just taking a dual land again. Green-white or green-black is the question. I do already have a green-white. I guess I have like no black duals right now, so maybe we take the green-white and try to go just like 4-color. Now we have like pretty good mana fixing for green-white here. And then again, if I take one of these, that holds up. We could take Vastwood Fortification as well, but I think these are just going to be better. This card's worth a pick just because of the fact that it's another non-basic land that has a different name for Field of the Dead, the Vastwood Thicket half, and if you draw it when you already have enough lands, you can just throw a random counter on something. But it's not fantastic. I think we're just taking a duel over that. Yeah, I'll take Sacred Foundry. We'll take the red land here, I guess. Baron Moor, another non-basic with a different name, but not a great one. That being said, none of these cards really combo well at all with what we have going on. Baron Moor it is. Really don't want to end up having to run that, but we will see. Collision Colossus can kill a flyer. We're very rarely going to be casting Colossus, though. But really got no black duels right now, and these both want us to have a ton of like creatures in our deck, which I don't think we will. Silent Departure to slow people down can be okay. These both seem pretty aggressive, not what we're doing here. Well, Momentous Fall over the random aggressive red dork. And Storm Herald I don't think I'm using here either. Alright, Radha, the Heart of Keld seems pretty much what we're going for here. We get to look at the top card of our library, and we can play lands off the top. So just good for a land-based deck. And then we'd want the Triome next. We'd love to wheel the Triome. That'd be pretty great. Other than that, maybe like Mouth to Feed or Fauna Shaman, just like a value-based green card. Definitely going to be Radha first. And now what? Aether Hub can tap for 1 mana of any color, but it only does it 1 time, but it's still solid for that if you're a very multicolored deck. Plus it's a non-basic land with a different name. It would help us splash things like Finality if that wheels. I don't think Finality will wheel, but definitely think Aether Hub is a very solid pick here. I don't think we want to run this Baron Moor. I'm actually just going to cut it now. Incubation Druid can be solid in 5 colors since it taps for a mana of anything your lands can make. So if you have like Aether Hub on the board, then Incubation Druid taps for mana of any color, which is really cool. But there's also just the Rootbound Crag. We're heavily into red-green as our core, and we're wanting a lot of non-basics. We're wanting a lot of mana fixing, so that's pretty solid. Yeah, I'll go with the Rootbound Crag first again. With Field of the Dead, all of the land-based mana fixing is kind of the first picks, and then like the creature-based mana fixing next. weird deck so far, but once we have enough like good mana fixing, we can start just taking whatever the best card in the pack is, just in literally any color. So I don't know about this one. I'm not so sure about this deck. We'll certainly have to see as we get towards the end of this draft and get into the games. Ooh, no dual lands in this pack, so we have to just take whatever the best card would be. Cure is interesting, but again, I don't think we're likely to have a ton of creatures in here. A lot of cheap creatures that are just not what we're doing. I guess like a Wizard's Lightning or a statue. Filigree Familiar we can cast no matter what mana we have at the time, gain some life, and then draw a card when it dies. That can slow our opponents down. I actually like the Familiar a lot for that reason. We can just always cast that thing. Now we have Yarok. No non-basics again, so I think Yarok's a pretty solid pick. Brockos doesn't do much in this deck. It's good for self-mill. And literally nothing else in here is that exciting. I think definitely Yarok, because Yarok with Field of the Dead is super fun, doubling up all your Field of the Dead triggers. And now we can start trying to take more like Enter the Battlefield effects. We don't have a ton right now. It's basically just Field of the Dead. Our Scrylands we can double up, and Filigree Familiar we can double up, gain extra life. Alright, out of here, I think... I mean, Lockmere Serpent is really strong. Just a big old flash 7/7 unblockable. Can kill your opponent really quickly. Just like 3 swings and less their life gain, but we've also got dual lands. I think I'm going to take the Watery Grave. It helps cast Yarok quite a bit. Now, what do we have? Not a lot, really. A bunch of small cards again. Maybe the little like 1/1 Death Toucher is good here. I don't think Ashiok makes a lot of sense. Other than that, it's just like a big green fatty. Could just ramp up with Guardian Idol. Yeah. Can ramp up with that, whatever our starting colors are. Kind of like Rashmi. Seems pretty fun. Whenever you cast the first spell each turn, reveal the top card, and you can play it without paying its mana cost if it's cheaper than whatever you cast, or just draw it if it isn't. Seems fine. I gotta swap my curve around. This is gonna take forever. Uh-oh. I messed up. So I do like that. That's 5. Oh my god. Come on, lands. There's 4. There we go. Now, now our curve is actually sorted by curve again. Aven Eternal, 3 mana for a 2/2 flyer, and it spits out another creature when we play it. Get some early blockers, seems fine. Can double up with Yarok, but I guess doubling up Aven Eternal isn't that exciting. Mirari Conjecture can be really fun if you can pick up multiple things for it and then cast like multiple instants and sorceries, doubling them up. But we don't have a lot of instants and sorceries in this deck right now, and I think we can just take the dual land. There's removal or a big old 5/5 or a 3/3 that replaces itself when it dies. Yeah, sure. Another early game blocker there. Chainweb Arachnia for the same reason, early game blocker. Just don't have enough cards to draw cards off Kiora with for that to be the pick. Callous Dismissal, another card to slow our opponents down. And then a Lonely Sandbar that I don't want to play. And a Siren Stormtamer I don't want to play. And we're heading into the final pack, and we found Golos. So we have Yarok, Golos, and Field of the Dead. We got the full combo. That's what you really want. Hurts to have to pass up Mechagodzilla, because that's pretty easy to cast no matter what lands we have. Any 3 mana will cast that, so that's super solid. Maybe it'll wheel, but I doubt it, because pretty much any deck can play that. But we're definitely playing Golos here. We've got the 5 colors to use Golos' second ability, and we have the Field of the Dead to grab off of Golos' first ability. So Golos is exactly what we want for this strategy. See what everybody's doing here. Can just chilling, waiting on Captain Falcon. All right. What is good for multicolor here? I guess the dual land, really. There's not much going on in this pack. Everything in here is like real nice, cheap, efficient mana costs. Just a bunch of little stuff. We'll definitely take the Overgrown Tomb there. So how many non-land things do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18? I guess I'm definitely going to have to run some weird cards in here just because I've drafted so many non-basic lands that I don't get to cut very many non-land cards. Yes, I have 18. So if I want to hit like 18 lands in this deck, I still need 4 more solid playables in this deck. I like Castle Vantress. That's just a good ability on a land, but as we've seen before, we want to get more like actual playables into here. Do I just want more interaction with a Braid? Probably something like that. Just another cheap removal spell. Seems fine. We've got a lot of red duels as well. That will help cast that. I think I want another red-green duel here. Like Stomping Ground over the white-blue ones. Ooh. Enter the God Eternal seems real strong. 5 mana, deal 4 damage to a creature, gain 4 life, mill somebody 4 cards, and amass a 4/4 zombie army. I think that's probably the best here. This is such a weird deck. I really don't normally draft this kind of stuff, but I'm trying to start drafting a nice variety of strategies at this point. Since I've done just the basic stuff so much now, mono red. I've even done white black a few times now. So what do I want here? Really love like another Wrath effect in any color. I guess there's Flame Spill as a cheap interaction. Lich's Caress could kill anything though. Yeah, I think I'll just take Lich's Caress. I think I take the Sulfur Falls here. Yep, none of this other stuff really does much for me. A lot of little stuff again. Perilous Mirror might be alright. Can definitely slow down our opponents. When it dies, it does 2 to any target, so it can kill something with like 3 toughness off of a block. Or if our opponent's really aggressive and they have a bunch of 2/1s, it really slows them down. There's also Solemnity Vision, though, which works as card filtering / card selection, and it can be a different non-basic land, like different land name for Field of the Dead. Definitely Mecha Godzilla here. It's just the easiest card for us to cast, and it's super solid. Don't really want to play any of these, but I suppose maybe like an Augur of Bolas to have another early blocker. And now Castle Vantress, because all of these other cards really want to combo well. Or there's Mind Stone, but I actually am not ramping that much now. Oh, why did I almost take Veto there? That would have been a really, a really sketchy choice. Not playing any of these 3. Temple of Enlightenment it is. And I don't think we really get to cut anything. Wow, red was open. Hellrider with only 3 cards left in the pack. Pack 3? That's insane. Hellrider's like probably the best red card in this cube. Hellrider's ridiculous. Hellrider punches in with haste for 4 damage by itself at the bare minimum, and an extra damage for every other creature that you have attacking with it. Hellrider is very impressive. Alright, so we have 42 cards in this deck plus one of these lands. I don't know what I was going to say plus there. We've got 42 cards in this deck for a 17 land deck, so I need to cut 2 cards. I think I'm going to cut 3 cards. I think we run around like 18 lands with Golos and Field of the Dead going on. And Radha to help that too. So I think we just cut the 3 cards that make the least sense. I think Siren Stormtamer makes very little sense in here. I guess it could like defend a Golos or a Yarok or something, but it doesn't seem super worth it. And then maybe Augur of Bolas, reveal an instant or sorcery. How many instants and sorceries do I have? I have 11 non-creatures, that's not very helpful. I have 6 instants and 5 sorceries, that's actually quite a bit. Augur Bolas could be okay. Definitely Salon Division's okay. Maybe the Haster, the Storm Herald here. Yeah. Cut one more card. Collision Colossus doesn't make a lot of sense either. It's mainly just to shoot a flyer. Yeah, I guess Collision Colossus, and then bam. Throw in one more land, and we've got a deck. With a Dawntreader Elk, we can only grab a swamp off that right now. Every land we have is non-basic, except for 2. What have I done? Wow, I'm almost definitely gonna have to actually cut some non-basics then to make sure that my mana distribution's actually good. Because I can't just assume that I drafted the perfect non-basics to line up with the distribution of my mana. So this mana base is gonna be real difficult to build. Oops, I actually just put in my favorite swamp and then cut it immediately. Okay, we need to look at colors now, and that's going to be just a time and a half. 8 green, 8 blue, 4 black, 4 red, 0 white. 0 white ended up in this deck. So all of our white lands are just the secondary color. They're just the not white color. So that's a green land. That's a green land. This is a blue. I hate my mouse with its old double-clicking shenanigans, but I'm not going to buy a new one. All right, that's a blue source. This is exclusively a red source. Okay, so we got that. So we have 2 green, a blue, and a red. That is all that those are. But we're still going to leave them in for Field of the Dead. And Golos as well. That's 4 white sources for Golos' ability. Seems pretty good. Okay, so there's that, but then we want... How did my symbols change? Did I accidentally cut something? No. That's weird. I thought it was 8844. I don't know what happened there, but okay. So primarily green and blue, followed by black, red. So right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 green. So we've got 8 green. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue. 8 green, 7 blue. That sounds like pretty much the perfect split with how much we have of each of those. And then black and red following it up. Black, we've got 1, 2, 3. We've only got 3 black right now. Oh no. Yeah, we've only got 3 black, I think. And then how much red? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red. 8 red. Wow, we really went overboard on all the green-red duels. Our black is pretty late, though. It's like Lich's Crest, Enter the God Eternal's Yarok. Maybe I cut like Castle Vantress for another swamp. Because all of our blue requires a single blue, I guess, except Enter the God Eternals requires double blue. This is difficult. How do people make these mana bases? Could also... Wait, did I accidentally throw something back in, and that's what happened with the color distribution there? Starting to look weird. Yeah, Collision Colossus is back here. What are you doing? Get out. Okay. I could cut like a Guardian Idol and have 19 lands in here just to get more black sources and leave Castle Vantress in. I really don't think I cut a green source because of I guess Dawntreader Elk is really the only mana fixing we have in strictly green. So even there we don't really need that. Momentous Fall is so awkward in this deck, but again, we have so few non-land cards, we just don't have a lot to choose from. This is going to be a draft. This is a whole whole experience that I've gotten myself into here. I guess, yeah, since our double blacks are late game, we could just kind of keep the mana base as is and hope for the best. Got a lot of duels. We got like Aether Hub, Golos. Got a lot of ways to grab that second black for the Lich's Crest, and that's our only double black card. We're probably fine. Famous last words. All right, let's shut off all of the Parallax card styles because I don't really like the 3D kind of kaleidoscope effect they got going on them. And then, yeah, let's get into some games with this pile and see if I can still keep up the positive win rates in the Tinkerer's Cube. This would be, I assume this is going to be the hardest time that I have out of all the decks that I've played in maintaining maintaining a positive win rate. This is the first deck I've drafted that would be like, you know what? I feel I could definitely 0-3 with this. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it all pans out. Very scared against aggressive decks with this. Very scared about that. But if we can like resolve a Golos and pick up a Field of the Dead, we've got some insane action just doing that in most matchups, I would say. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. Got that turn 1 Field of the Dead. And I have Golos. This is just the historic deck, actually. This is a fully constructed deck to do what I want it to do. I'm actually going to turn 1 Temple of Abandon to scry here. I think I do still want to hit more lands to hit Golos, so I'll keep that. Turn 2, I'm going to play like Overgrown Tomb, Dawntreader Oak. We don't need to put Field of the Dead out until we have the 7 lands to trigger it. Let's get that Elk out here. I could also play Guardian Idol, actually, and speed up the Golos, but I can do that next turn, too. I definitely like that. Vantress Gargoyle from our opponent, so they're going to try to like mill us here. Ooh, I have a Grakmaw coming out. Let's play a Guardian Idol for sure, I think. Next turn I can play Golos if I draw an untapped land, but all these are tapped, so let's Temple. I guess our opponent has the Vantress Gargoyle. They're just going to mill the top card, so it doesn't really matter. The Scry here. So we are against Dimir Mill. I'm scared. Ashiok? Oh boy. Ashiok turn 3. We don't have enough interaction or quick things to do to really stop them from just going off, so Ashiok's probably just going to mill us for 20 cards. Ashiok gets to mill 5 times? I guess the Vantress Gargoyle. See, you can't block unless they have 4 more cards in it. It can block, so we can't hit Ashiok. Good lord. Well, I get to cast Golos this turn. Try starting to use that ability and do something here. I can't search my library. Oh! Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, well. Good lord, this is ridiculous. Alright, Ashiok. Go ahead and mill me 20 then, I guess. Well, this is just going about as poorly as I could have possibly imagined. They got me imbibing now. Drinking soda. Can't believe you've done this to me, opponent. Yeah, no, I think we just lose to Ashiok just straight up. Down to 20 cards already, and they're milling 15 more. I need 2 more mana. 5. Yeah, I need 2 more mana to start doing Golos things. I need 2 more lands to start doing Field of the Dead things. I am so tempted to just scoop them up, but I'll try my best here. We'll see. But I just don't have any like aggressive creatures and stuff. my whole game plan is to survive until like turn 8 or 9, and then once I hit that, I just start going off with like Golos and Field. But I'm just not going to survive that long when they're milling 15 more cards. Definitely can't attack in against that Vantress Gargoyle. They block Golos with their Vantress Gargoyle. They block the Dawnshredder Elk with Doom Dissenter. I mean, I guess they get to unsummon Golos because Ashiok stops me from searching my library anyway. I'm just gonna scoop him up now. I'm sorry. I try to play it out to the end in most games, but I know what's in my deck, and I know that I have literally 0% chance of winning that game. So I would like to just move on to the next game, try and get as many games out as I can during the time that I have to record videos here. At some point you gotta just add time management into your factoring of whether or not you should concede. Because I am trying to do the daily upload thing, so I really got to try to jam out as many of these drafts as I can in the short period I've got for my recording session today. So let's drop Temple of Epiphany turn 1, so I can scry. Momentous Fall, I do not want that. Turn 3 Mechagodzilla can be pretty cool. We can turn 2, just play a tapped land, turn 3 play Overgrown Tomb, and we're up against Ruin Crab. Am I going to get milled every game? I guess I'll leave Enter the God Eternals on top, because I don't want to draw that right now, so then I know at least one of the 3 cards getting milled here is garbage that I don't want right now. The next card was Golos. That is something I really don't want them to mill. And they had Explore to do twice, so they milled Golos and Yarok and Field of the Dead? My opponent just milled my entire game plan. All 3 of my game-ending options. Well, I guess we're all in on Mechagodzilla. Do your thing, Mechagodzilla. I believe in you, please. Oh, flying. Just get hexproof. Get hexproof fast, Mechagodzilla. Run for your life. Please, my friend. Please. Mantle of the Wolf. I'm just going to start getting beat down by a Ruin Crab. Okay. I'm just going to literally die to Ruin Crab combat damage this game. Well, that's insane. I probably shouldn't have played that land yet, because I could Rada here and maybe play the top. I guess I could just play like Aven Eternal instead. I don't really want to play stuff off the top when they're like Ruin Crabbing me. Get a nice little chump blocking token there, I like that. And we're both flying attackers now, so we're actually trying to race. Chainweb Arachnir. At least they're hitting all my stuff that can come out of the grave. At least it's not an Ashiok, you know? Alright, Chainweb Arachnir can come out and do 4 damage to Rolesk. That doesn't quite kill it, unfortunately, but it's close. Well, definitely going to chump block the 6 here. It's pretty big. See if I get Death Touch off Mechagodzilla, that could be cool. Sweltering Suns really does not do enough. And I don't have enough mana to cast Chainweb Arachnir from the grave. I guess I can Abrade when they block and kill it. When it dies, they proliferate twice, though, so then they hit me for 8. I think I still probably do that. I just play Guardian Idol and Abrade here. The other option is to play like Rada and hope for a land off the top. Then I need to hope for literally an untapped red source. I only have 16 cards left already. Yeah, let's just Guardian Idol and Abrade here, I guess. What do you get, Mechagodzilla? A +1/+1 counter. Well, send in. I guess if they don't block, I take 10. That's kind of scary. But I'm still alive. I'm already dead in 2 swings either way. They hit me for 10 here and then 10 again and I die. Or they block with Rolesk. They hit me for 8 off of Ruin Crab and then 8 again and I die. So I'm already just dead in 2 swings. Baron. Returns something to its owner's hand when they play it. Probably Mechagodzilla. Yep. Very rude opponent. Take 10, down to 4. Could shoot Baron for 3 at the end of the turn with Abrade here. Wow, cycle the counterspell, send a message. Mill me 3 more, down to 13 cards. I guess I probably should Abrade Baron, because now I just have to make chump blockers here, and I want them to have as few creatures as possible when I'm down to 4. Even hitting me for 2 is pretty big. Can I play 2 chump blockers this turn? I can play Filigree Familiar, gain some life, and get a chump blocker down. And then I play Mechagodzilla. So I gain 2 and pay 2 to do both. I mean, a little awkward. That can block a flyer. So now I've got my 2 chump blockers I just send in. Hope for no removal, because I have to try to race here. So I kind of have to send in the Aven Eternal. And we're chump blocking the rest. Primal Empathy. Okay, so they're drawing a card at the beginning of their upkeep every turn. Pretty spooky. Rolesk does have trample, so I am getting hit down to 3 life now. But I survive. Draw Sun Petal Grove. They mill me 5, is that it? Oh, I'm down to 6 cards, I still got a while. Silent Departure. I can return Rolesk to their hand. I could return Ruin Crab to their hand too, but then they spit out 2/2/2 wolves when the Mantle of the Wolf goes to the grave because of the Silent Departure. And if they get 2/2/2 wolves, I just take 4 no matter what. I guess I could Silent Departure and then Sweltering Suns? But then I die to Rolesk because my only blocker will die. I could Silent Departure both of their creatures, and then they have 2/2/2 wolves. I block one with the Aven Eternal, but Rolesk comes in play, puts counters on the wolf, and I have to chump block the one with counters and take 1. So I can Silent Departure Rolesk, and all I have to do is make a chump blocker for Ruin Crab there. Trying to outrace. Oh my god. So can I play... I can play Rashmi, and then I have 3 mana after that. Oh my god, this is rough. I think I play Rada. Silent Departure Rolesk. And then I have the 2 mana up for Guardian Idol to turn into a creature as well if I want to. But I just like have to be able to kill them next turn. So I have to like get in a gigantic swing with Rada's ability or something. I have to hit them for 7 here. Yeah, because 1 more turn and I just get milled out entirely. My bottom cards are Momentous Fall and Stomping Ground. Oh, really now? Just, oh my god. Alright, well, I'll just mill you 6 more with Migration Path. What is this? Simic mill. Ridiculous. I'm just going to title this draft the one in which I get milled every round. Good lord. Alright, well, that's 2 losses heading into round 3 now. This is pretty insane. I said it at the start. If there was ever a time I was going to 0-3 in this format, we found the time. Somebody had to put a stop to the 6 and 7 win runs. And it would be Mill, wouldn't it? I actually like Mill a lot in the Pokemon TCG, but it does annoy me in Magic. Alright, well, I'm going to keep it, because we've got Field of the Dead, we got turn 2 Augur of Bolas. I guess we don't. All of these lands come to play tapped. We have turn 3 Augur of Bolas. Well, with Aether Hub, we have it on turn 2, and we get to keep our energy token. So Aether Hub was a great draw. Our opponent is on Rakdos so far, Swamp and a Mountain. Playing a Rigging Runner, so they are probably a very aggressive Rakdos deck. I do love getting a 1-3 out against that 1-1 First Striker. Drop down our Augur of Bolas, see if we can draw something off of it. Nope, Aven Eternal in a couple duels, that's fine. And a Mire Triton coming out for our opponent, a 2-1 Death Toucher that gains them 2 life and mills them 2 cards when it comes into play. So Augur of Bolas can trade with that. That seems fine to me. If we can get a red source, we can also Flame Spill it. We also have a Filigree Familiar coming up in a couple turns. That can do stuff too. Silent Departure, I like that for slowing down our opponent in the future, but I don't need it right now, so we just play Field of the Dead, Guardian Idol. Start getting some mana, because we can't play an untapped land this turn, so we can't drop down Filigree Familiar. Sentinel's Eyes for the Mire Triton, giving it +1/+1 and Vigilance. So I can no longer block it well, so I just take the 3. Silent Departure will be okay on that. Callous Dismissal even a little better, because we can bounce it and get a blocker. That being said, Filigree Familiar will be big enough to trade for that still, so I can just play that. Let's get a natural green source out. I don't think I'll be using Castle Vantress's ability for a little while. Angel of Vitality. Whenever they gain life, they gain that much +1 now? Yep. Alright, definitely trading for the Filigree Familiar. Draw a card here, get rid of that Mire Triton. It does put the Sentinel's Eyes in their graveyard, so they can throw it onto the Angel of Vitality, but we can respond by Flame Spilling it, so that's pretty fine. Thanks to our Aether Hub. I think we definitely play a red source now. The Temple of Epiphany, see what's on top. Rada seems like a pretty great draw. I could slow our opponent down with a Callous Dismissal or Silent Departure, but we've got the Flame Spill, so I think we're pretty safe to just do that if need be. I am getting rid of my only potential black source by spending the energy on a Flame Spill here, though. But I think that's okay. We're very close to getting our Field of the Dead active. We're 2 lands off. Sentinel's Eyes going onto the Rigging Runner. Interesting. See what happens here. I'm wondering what they have for 2 mana here then. I guess now they can attack with Rigging Runner and the Angel, because they could already attack with the Angel because I didn't have flying. But now they can attack with the Rigging Runner and they know it won't die. I don't really need to Flame Spill here, actually, if I'm just taking 2. And goes to my turn. Okay. Well, Rada's going to come out here. Sun Petal will come into play untapped, which is nice. Do I need that mana, though? So I spend this, I have 3 mana up. Nope, I don't need an untapped mana here, so we'll just play Rada in our tapped land. Next turn I get to play Sun Petal Grove. Glad I held on to that black, because now we have Enter the God Eternals coming up next turn, which will be very good. Again, don't need to slow them down here. Their creatures are pretty small. I can save that for later. Just need to make sure not to use Flame Spill unless entirely necessary, because that would get rid of our only black source for Enter the God Eternals. Casting a start, that puts a finish in the graveyard, so they can cast that, sacrifice a creature, and destroy target creature. So I think that is definitely their plan for Radha. Sending in the Angel, we'll just take it. And now we enter the God Eternals, I think. And we start getting our Field of the Dead zombies. This is nice. 3 mana up after this. Have them mill 4. I have amassed a 4/4, and I get to hold up a Flame Spill. Super nice. Get in there, Radha, I guess. There's no way they can block this and make it bad for me, because I can first strike away both their 1/1s and then just take 2 from Rigging Runner. So we get to get rid of one of them there. And hold up Flame Spill. Then we're just going to start attacking with zombies every turn. Definitely does look like our opponent is stumbling on mana. They're still at 3 mana this late in the game. They do look like a pretty aggressive curve, though. I mean, we haven't seen anything with more than 3 mana get discarded. But at the same time, they haven't had like enough cards in hand they've had to discard yet. Just off of the mill, we hit a bunch of lands and a 3-drop. Or a 1-drop. So they have 6 mana in 6 cards in their hand, 3 mana up. Going to time here. I'm guessing we're just going to see a finish to kill Radha. Sacrificing the 1/1 token. Which is fine. Alright, we might get aggressive here, try to push our lead. 4, 5, 6, 7. We do 7 to them. 2 damage off Flame Spill. Yeah, let's get aggressive. Just get their creatures off the board, start doming them for 7 a turn. Kind of like cycling this because I don't need to hold up the mana for anything. If we just draw another land, we play another land. Multani's a fantastic draw. Okay. Attack for 7. Could have another 2/2 out if I just played that land, but I do love having the Multani ready. And now I get to scry here at the end of their turn. Set up next turn's draw 2. Overgrown Tomb, Lich's Caress. I like having Lich's Caress as a backup. Overgrown Tomb's fine, it is a zombie. But we'll have that as a backup. Just drop down Multani here, smack for 7. There's Multani. Pass turn. Looks like they may be stuck on 3 mana till the bitter end of this game. And that is the case. They're going to scoop them up here. That is our first win with this 5-color deck. At least we got 1 win in here. Not the worst we could do. Could have definitely 0-3'd. So we got a win there. 5-color Field of the Dead. 1 win and 3 losses at worst. Hopefully we can grab another win here. If we can make it to like 3-3 with this deck, I'll be surprised and very happy. Okay, we are going first. We've got Callous Dismissal turn 2, Filigree Familiar turn 3, Flame Spill and Sweltering Suns. This hand's actually fantastic against aggressive decks, so hopefully those mono red sleeves actually mean something here. Because if they're on mono red, I think this hand's pretty great. We play the Sulphur Falls first, followed by turn 2 Overgrown Tomb. We can play that untapped for 2 life if we need to Callous Dismissal. But then, by having that out as a forest, we get to play Rootbound Crag untapped turn 3. Temple of Abandon. Do I need to Callous Dismissal here? I don't think so. Because I have Sweltering Sun's coming up, so I'm just going to scry one here. Next turn we can play Overgrown Tomb for 2 if we really need the untapped mana. We've got 4 mana already. I don't think I need the Elk. Luminarch Aspirants, well, I might just Sweltering Suns right now. I guess next turn, even if they throw a counter on something else, they still won't have something with more than 3 toughness. So if we can like 3-for-1 them with Sweltering Suns, that'll be beautiful. The Veto, yeah, we get to kill all that with Sweltering Suns. Okay, perfect. And we take the chump block here to stop that damage too. Awesome. And we draw a card, grab a Mecha Godzilla for after the Wrath. Well, we play Sweltering Suns and play our tapped land. And we've got the setup here. We've got a backup Lich's Caress. We don't have the second black for it, of course. That is the hardest to cast card in our deck. But there's the second black. I've got Flame Spill that could kill it as well. I might just Flame Spill that. I could Callous Dismissal as well. I can actually Callous Dismissal and play Mecha Godzilla. That's pretty nice. Let's do that first. If they just recast it next turn, we can Flame Spill. And if they play something scarier, or something with more than 4 toughness, we can Lich's Caress that. They do have the Vraska's Contempt for Mecha Godzilla. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we want to play Watery Grave because we don't have any white cards in our deck, but we probably want to stop playing lands after this in case we draw Field of the Dead. Well, we might want to, because Field of the Dead starts triggering at 7 lands. Archon of Redemption, well, we will Flame Spill that. I guess, because it's low enough toughness. Then we can just Lich's Caress the next thing. Ooh, Yarok. Well, yeah, I'm definitely holding on to the land for now, then. Because now Field of the Dead is huge. Or, like, Golos is beautiful. Golos is actually insane. If I follow that up here, that would be an incredible draw. Guardian Idol is okay. We are just going to keep clearing out their field and just sending in. Probably should have just held on to Lich's Caress since Yarok has Death Touch anyway. We could already send in with Yarok freely. What are they doing now? They're going to return something from a grave? They are looking at our grave a lot. Erebos' Intervention. Okay, they were thinking about like exiling stuff from our grave. Ooh, Multani? Well, there's a reason to play a land then. Make Multani slightly bigger and harder to kill. And Multani can come back from our grave and will make us return lands to our hand to do that. They get a Bloodthirsty Aerialist and a Grateful Apparition. There's Golos. Alright. We just super got all the things this game. Get in there, Multani. Let's go. May as well drop down a Guardian Idol. Even if they kill Multani here, we still have enough mana next turn to return the 2 lands and recast Multani with its ability. Alright, lose 2, sure. Send in with everybody. We've got a Silent Departure here too. They're down to 3. Sure, let's just spin the Golos wheel because that's a thing we can do, I guess. Land, Abrade. Cool. Alright, there's the concession. From our opponent, that's 2 wins, 2 and 3. We're only 1 win away from 3-3. Let's get there, we can do it. Field of the Dead, I believe in you. 5-colored nonsense. It's actually only 4-color, which is really confusing. Super weird. It is tremendously weird to think about this deck as a 4-color deck and not a 5-color deck, because it just looks like a 5-color deck at base level. You're just like, yeah, that's just 5-color nonsense. Definite keep with that turn 3 Sweltering Suns if our opponent is aggressive, and a Healer's Hawk is a good sign for that. Play Temple of Abandon first. Sulphur Falls turn 2, and then any land turn 3 would be the 3 mana we need for Sweltering Suns. I'm going to hold on to that land. I probably should just scryed it to the bottom, because we don't actually use white mana for anything. Yeah, and we have a Rada coming up. Probably should have just gotten rid of that one. I don't think I'm going to Sweltering Suns next turn, so I'm going to play like a Forest right now to just cycle the Scattered Groves. That's such an embarrassing play, though. Because then I'm just admitting that I should have just scryed it to the bottom. But I think it's happening. Ooh, Rootbound Crag. That leaves me open to Sweltering Suns turn 3 still. So that's nice. We can basically just pretend that we scryed the Scattered Groves to the bottom. Except now if we draw Multani, it's one larger because we've got one land in our graveyard. See, there's a reason. There's value, you know? Alright, well, still just one creature from our opponent, so I think I'm just playing Rada. Right. Or Filigree Familiar. Either of those is fine. Guess I'd rather play Filigree Familiar first. I like being able to Sweltering Suns here, and I'm definitely not going to Sweltering Suns if I have a Rada on the board. What I don't like is that my opponent is going to be drawing a card every time they hit me with Healer's Hawk. So maybe I should have just Sweltering Suns for the 1-for-1, but that doesn't feel awesome. Now I have a Mechagodzilla too. Yeah, let's get a Mechagodzilla. Come on, get flying immediately. Do the thing. That would be awesome. Lifelink. Okay. Well, Healer's Hawk doesn't have first strike, so we get to send in with the Filigree Familiar. Get to start trying to bring them down from like infinite life. Conclave Tribunal to exile Mechagodzilla. Okay. Down to 16 now. Callous Dismissal. Well, I kind of like that. I can do that and cast Rada. Yeah, that's super solid here. We're pretty much just not doing the Sweltering Suns at this point. Next turn I have enough mana to pump Rada, get in for 9, 10, 11, 12 if they don't block anything. I should have played Rada before I played my land there, so I could potentially do that stuff for value. Get the land off the top and get more likely to draw a non-land next turn. Yeah, I would have drawn a Rada here if I had... or a Rashmi here if I had played the Rada before my land last turn. I get to use that at instant speed for the +X/+X. Well, let's play a land, and I think swinging with these two? Swinging with the 1/1 just gets blocked by the Indulgent Patriarch, or Patrician, which is not great. So, am I casting anything if I don't pump here? I don't think I am. I'm just going to pump here, because I'm not going to Momentous Fall next turn. At least I'm pretty sure I won't. So just get in for a lot of damage. They can gain a decent amount of life here, but not as much as Rada's dealing. Ooh, with Angelic Exaltation, they do get to send in with one of them for 3 lifelink. Triggers Patrician as well to make me lose 3 life. So this is 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's not quite lethal if they don't block, but it's very close to where they might block. Send in. They do block the Rada. There's no reason to pump here. I'm only damaging Healer's Hawk. So with 7 lands, I can't cast Rashmi and hold up Momentous Fall. I think I do still want to just play Rashmi, though. We may be cycling Sweltering Suns at this point, and maybe I should have done that earlier. Order of Midnight. Pick up the Healer's Hawk again. Get a Chump Blocker again. Yep. So they get to send in with Indulging Patriarch. Hit me for 3, gain 3. I'm down to 7. They can pay 2 to draw a card, but then they're tapped out. Alright, so they may be holding on to something here. So if I crack back after a Lich's Caress, I hit them for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I get rid of Healer's Hawk, I think I'm cycling Sweltering Suns. I think that's just for sure at this point. Selendi Vision is the draw, with Grakmaw on top. 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I don't have enough to cast Selendi Vision and Lich's Caress. If I attack with everything, they have to block Rada, or they take 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, they go lethal if they don't block Rada. So I attack with everything to kill Healer's Hawk, and then I Lich's Caress, Indulging Patriarch. Unless they have a removal spell right now for Rada. Tap up to 2 creatures. Well, butts. Okay, well, I think I still am going to just kill Patrician. I keep calling it a Patriarch, but it's a Patrician. Oh, and I get to cast Grakmaw off of Rashmi's ability. So that's a pretty cool combo, being able to see the top and know that you can or can't cast it. I think I'm... Nah, I'd probably hold on to Selendi Vision. Next turn I'll have a Silent Departure. That only costs 1 mana and gets rid of a blocker. So that's going to help a lot for trying to push through for lethal. Not if they pick it up. Okay, Gonti. Steal all my stuff. Absolute criminal. Well, I'm pretty much convinced that they have Silent Departure, but it doesn't matter because it's sorcery speed, so like we'll see if they want to use it this turn. Which I highly expect. They just throw it on Rada. What do I have for 2 mana at instant speed? I don't know. I'm going to play the Triome so I can see the next card, which is the Temple of Enlightenment. So if I cast Selendi Vision, Rashmi's going to get me nothing. I've got 7 mana, so if I want to trigger Rada, I can't cast anything here. So they block Rada, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we send in they have to block Rada, or they have to have somehow gotten like a Braid off of the top of my deck. That would be some phenomenal levels of luck. I guess they got a Braid. Brutal. I kind of have to make them have it. Because, like, if they don't abrade here, they take 5, 6, 7, 8. There's no possible way they're bluffing here. So they just have the abrade, which means if I pump Rada, Rada just dies. So I think I Selendi Vision. I'm just going to let it through. Get the token, Selendi Vision, and I have 4 mana up for Momentous Fall to gain more life. I'm like solidly killing my opponent next turn. They did. I guess they thought Silent Departure was an instant, and that whole time I just had it. All right, well, I'm gonna grab Flame Spill because I can do some damage to them and kill their Healer's Hawk. I'm just going to do that right now because they're not going to have haste. I literally just had them dead, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I guess we didn't know what the other cards in our hand were for double white instant. Okay, they go to 6. Take 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we're good. They did. They had Silent Departure. They take 5 right now. I need to draw 1 more damage somehow. Temple of Enlightenment to scry. Golos on top. I know Golos is the next card, so if I draw 1 card, I'm casting Golos. But my only way to draw a card is to cast this 4 mana card, in which case I'm not casting Golos. Sure, just send in then. And pass. Do they have like a Gray Merchant? They'd have to play like a hybrid white-black card that could have 2 Devotion to black and then play Gray Merchant to kill me here. If not, I don't know what they could possibly have, because Silent Departure even went to my graveyard since they played it off of their Gonti, which is nice. They gain 3, I Silent Departure that and get them. They have no blockers, I send in for 5. They do have 3 mana up. Alright, Aerial Responder. So I can get rid of that. Do I want to Momentous Fall here? I don't think I do. I think I just bounce that. They block one of my 2-power creatures. Yeah, they have no instant speed stuff on board. I literally just Silent Departure, Aerial Responder, send in for 3. And I drew Enter the God Eternals, which is castable if I play a land. So I just double win. Yeah, they scoop them up. Okay, well, 3 wins and 3 losses for the 5-color Field of the Dead. I don't really think I drafted it quite right here. I think I definitely took lands too highly, because at the end I ended up not even being able to cut some of the cards. I should have been taking some of the like big, powerful, multicolored bombs earlier than I did, because I didn't end up with as many as I could have had here. But we made it to a nice even run with the deck anyway. Strategy is powerful. We got Golos and Field of the Dead and Yarok. We got like the trifecta. The trifecta that saw constructed to play together for a while. Golos and Field of the Dead for sure. Yarok was a little bit win more, but it was still hilarious. So it wasn't as popular with the other two. Golos Field of the Dead was just, that was always together. Alright, we'll keep this. I have turn 3 Sweltering Suns if I need it. We'll play Stomping Ground turn 1. Both of our other lands come to play untapped. And pretty much everything is castable here. However, we only get to spend a colored mana off of Aether Hub 1 time, so we need to be very diligent about that. So we're probably playing like Grakmaw turn 3, because we can play that off green-black colorless and hold up our energy for Callous Dismissal, Aven Eternal. Our opponent mulled down to 5 goes Mountain Grim Lavamancer, so we're hoping for a real nasty Sweltering Suns against them. If they're playing turn 1 Grim Lavamancer, they're probably pretty aggressive. Looks like Rakdos aggro. Kroxa coming out. Makes me discard a card. Sunpetal Grove's definitely my worst land. I'll discard that and take some damage here. Take 1 from Grim Lavamancer. We've got Mechagodzilla turn 3 now. Don't think I'm going to Callous Dismissal their Grim Lavamancer, so I'll just play the Aether Hub first. And pass the turn. Dark Roller Oracle. Well, since they are spreading stuff on the board, I guess I'd rather put a Grakmaw out than put a Mechagodzilla out, because if Grakmaw dies to Sweltering Suns, that's still super fine. It replaces itself. Whereas Mechagodzilla, I really don't want to kill Mechagodzilla to Sweltering Suns. Alright, now they've got 1 card in hand. I think we just Sweltering Suns, and that should be pretty sufficient. Two cards in hand for our opponent now. We've got 5 They have a Krenko out. We can slow that down with Callous Dismissal. I guess we don't have the blue mana right now, but it doesn't attack into a 3/3 well, so we just play Mechagodzilla. I don't really want Momentous Fall. I'm going to throw that on the bottom. Play our Mechagodzilla. It immediately gets lifelink. That's really nice. They take 3 here. I don't know why they would chump block, but maybe they will. Ooh, I guess so they can activate their Kroxa, their Titan, bring it back from the grave, escaped, but we have the bounce spell for that, so it won't stay around forever, which is really good for us. Because it'll come out escaped as a 6/6, but then we put it back in their hand and they have to completely redo the escape to get it to stay forever again. I'm going to play Aven Eternal because it's the most power I can put on this board, because I can also drop down the Chainweb Arachneer here and we can send in for a lot next turn. Alright, looks like we may just get there here. Yeah, down to 4 cards. It's pretty much just Sweltering Suns for lethal this game. Board wipes are very good. There's a Viashino Pyromancer, and they scoop them up. So 4 wins and 3 losses. We've made it above the perfectly average record. I really didn't think I'd be making it here, but I thought making it to 3/3 would be super nice. We're at least 4/3. So now we're really doing hot. Let's do it, 5-color. Sweltering Suns .deck. Sweltering Suns really saving me from the early aggression in that game for sure. As I've said before, I'm not super confident in a lot of my gameplay during the matches. I think I've definitely made quite a few misplays here today. But luckily, just the power level of the cards that we've managed to draft is good enough to carry me along for a bit here. This is a definite keep. I'm just trying to figure out what order I want to sequence my lands in. If I Temple of Abandon turn 1, then turn 2 and turn 3, all my lands can come to play untapped. So I can hold up a Braid off of just playing Watery Grave next turn. Multani's a little bit of a bold keep here since we only have 4 lands in hand. But if I hit 1 more land, Golos will get me my 6th. So I don't think it's that bold. And I think I will be paying the life to abrade that, just not have to deal with it. Get out of here, Fiend Artisan. Now next turn I get the untapped land of Sulphur Falls to play Radha, and I can start playing lands off the top. I could also play Aven Eternal if my opponent plays an aggressive creature. Just playing Beanstalk Giant to ramp up means I will definitely be casting Radha next turn to ramp up myself. Radha, I guess, isn't exactly ramp. She's more card draw because she's drawing lands off the top of your deck. You're still only playing 1 land a turn, though. We did draw the 5th mana for Golos, so we know we're going to hit 5 mana, which means we'll play Golos, which means we'll hit 6 mana for Multani. Doomed Necromancer and Reassembling Skeleton coming out for our opponent. Their only creature in grave is Fiend Artisan, so Doomed Necromancer not going to do anything that crazy. Could play a Dawntreader Elk, but I don't have the mana to immediately sacrifice it anyway. I think I play my Triome tapped so I can play Rootbound Crag untapped next turn. And then I just play Aven Eternal. I get to attack with Radha. They could chump block with Skeleton or just take 3. Chump block with the Skeleton it is. We are definitely grabbing Field of the Dead off of Golos next turn, because now we have 3 green sources, Temple of Abandon, Ketria Triome, and Rootbound Crag, so we've got all we need for Multani. We could also play a Mechagodzilla next turn, that is what is on top of our deck right now. Could play Mechagodzilla and Dawntreader Elk and sacrifice the Elk. Doesn't seem really necessary, so I think I'm just going to be doing Golos. That being said, with multiple blue mana up, we might do the other thing. Alright, fight our Necromancer for Radha. That I am very happy with. Because now they're tapped out, we know they're not going to counter Golos. Let's grab our Field of the Dead, and we send in for 3. And we also got that Doomed Necromancer off the board. Do I have a white source yet? No, I do need a white source if I want to start using Golos' ability, but I'm still in a very good spot without it. Just need one more land to start getting Field of the Dead zombies. Zoni's pretty nice here for opponent. It only gets 2 1/1s, which is definitely weaker than usual, but they can spend 2 mana, sacrifice a creature, gain a life, and draw a card. They can do that with Reassembling Skeleton. Sweltering Suns is a pretty hilarious draw here. I think I'm just going to send that out right now, right? Because Sweltering Suns get rid of a Zoni and all of their stupid combos with it. I guess I should attack first, but if I clear the board, I can just hit for 3 off of Golos anyway, so 3 is more than 2, so I think I Sweltering Suns first. Can I hold up double green after that? I can. The Triumph and the Rootbound Crag, which means I can Dawnshredder Elk and get a zombie. Really nice. So attack there. I think I'd rather Mecha Godzilla, though, than just get a zombie off the Elk. But the Elk does also get the white mana, so there's definitely an argument for that. I had 2 lines there. I could play Mecha Godzilla, or I could play Dawnshredder Elk, grab... Oh, I guess it only grabs basics, so I couldn't grab a Plains. I could just grab a Forest or Swamp anyway. See, I think Mecha Godzilla is better. If I couldn't grab my white source for Golos anyway. See if Mecha Godzilla gets flying. Menace, close enough for now. Can't block with the Beanstalk Giant. They have to block it with 2 or more creatures now. Doomed Dissenter, now they can double block it. They have Reassembling Skeleton in their graveyard and 1 card in hand to play around with. Silent Departure of Multani to slow us down. They can flash that back for 5 as well. I'm just going to take the 7 to crack back here, because we know what's in their hand. We know they don't have any pump spells here. I can afford to take that and just race. So scry 1 off the temple. Flame Spill? Nah. Not really necessary right now. The only creature I want to kill is way too high toughness for that. Mecha Godzilla now has Trample and Menace. Yeah, we'd much rather try to hit a white source than just a Flame Spill. Our opponent is down to 6. They spit out a zombie token from Doomed Dissenter, and we cast our Multani. They get back Reassembling Skeleton, and we'll see what they draw into here. They can bounce our Reassembling Skeleton, or bounce our Multani off of Silent Departure and hit us for 8, 9, 10, 11? Wait a second. Oh, I do have, I've got the zombie token too. Okay, that was getting mildly scary, but I have a zombie token, so we're safe. I was like, I'm pretty sure I played it relatively safe. I just completely didn't see the zombie token. Yeah, because of the zombie token, we played it super safe. They're at 6. They have 2 blockers. If I kill one of the blockers, they take 5. I don't love milling them, so I probably mill myself with this Enter the God Eternals, but other than that, I do like it a lot, because it's going to spread me out for more attackers than Multani would. Let's kill their zombie. I'm going to mill myself for it, because I don't want to mill them. Oh, and I hit a Chainweb Arachne. That's pretty sweet. Cool, they go to 1, now I play Dawnshredder Elk. I've got multiple blockers, one of which I can sacrifice at instant speed and grab another land. And spit out another zombie token, if they like target it with removal or something. And that's gonna be game, it looks like. Send it with the Beanstalk Giant, we'll block, and grab a land, get a zombie. Just grab a forest, I guess. Send in. We have 5 wins now? I'm pretty sure we're at 5 wins. That's the 4,000 gold right back at us. Never didn't have it. Get the full entry free back with some random gems. from the random card rewards. All right, Field of the Dead Golos. Do some work, show off what you got. I guess we just lose to Mill. If we don't play against Mill, we're fine. I mean, we've beaten aggressive decks like a Rakdos deck. We beat a white-black life gain deck. We beat kind of a slower deck, that Golgari ramp reanimator sort of strategy. So yeah, I guess the one thing that has absolutely demolished us every time has been Mill. So fingers crossed, just not matched up against Mill, and then I guess we have a chance according to how the games have gone so far. Alright, well, this mana base is awkward. We don't have any green mana here, but I'm still going to keep it. We've got a Scry. We've got Salundi Vision coming up to maybe grab a Sweltering Suns if our opponent is on an aggressive deck. We could get real lucky off of that. Silent Departure. Our opponent started with a Sultai Triome, green, blue, black. I'm thinking we probably don't want that. Probably don't need that. Alright, Dawn of Hope starts things off, so the Thingamadooter wouldn't do anything yet. You know, the Thingama, whatever. The Silent Departure. They have no creatures out yet, so it still would not be viable. Probably Mechagodzilla turn 3 here. Filigree Familiar. Well, I think I'm certainly going to Mechagodzilla then. Ooh, Aven Eternal as well. Let's get our... Well, I guess we only need white for like one thing, so we'll get Steam Vents out. We only need white for Golos' ability, so we'll play the slightly more relevant dual land first. Get Lifelink on our Mechagodzilla. Pretty sweet. Our opponent is on red, black, and white, though, so they could have removal. I think we trade here. I don't love it, because they are going to draw a card, but if I keep that on the field, then they're going to draw a card every single turn off of it. I can just kill it with a Braid, so I guess there's definitely an argument for that, but I've got a Golos coming up. I'm definitely on that game plan here. So I get to play this tapped, and then next turn I get to play Sacred Foundry untapped, Golos grab Field of the Dead, and we are off the ground running. If I didn't have Golos there, I would be definitely on the game plan of protecting Mechagodzilla at all costs. But right now I'm just trying to slow my opponent down and hinder their game plan because I have Golos coming up. Alright, Field of the Dead, let's get out here. We are about to start going crazy with it. They do have Emery with Filigree Familiar and Treasure Map in the graveyard, so they can start doing some crazy stuff with her. We've got the Abrade left over for that. We do have got that. My English is really rough today. It happens. I've been doing so many videos so far this year, and I'm planning on doing the daily videos as long as I can keep it up, to where I kind of want to do like some speech courses, so I stop like stumbling on my words so much, because I feel, I don't know, I feel pretty self-conscious about that. I feel like it happens quite a bit and definitely hinders the commentary. So my apologies every time it happens. I'm trying my best here. I just am generally a pretty dumb person. Probably didn't need to pay the 2 life there, but I like having the option to cast a bunch of stuff so I don't have to do the math and make sure whether or not I need the mana there. Alright, just pass. I could Silent Departure my own Golos. That's pretty fancy. That's something I might think about more next turn, because right now I don't have enough mana to Silent Departure Golos and recast it immediately. If I did, maybe that'd be worth it. Because then I could grab my green source, I can actually play Arachne, or I can actually spin the wheel off of Golos. Getting a green source is pretty nice on this board. Alright, scrying off that treasure map, sure thing. We're probably cycling Sweltering Suns here again. Because Sweltering Suns is going to kill all of our zombies that we are planning on having a lot of. So they scryed during their upkeep before they drew a card. So they could try to set up a good draw this turn. We'll see if they got one. Timuret calls the dead. Mill 3, then they can exile a creature enchantment from their graveyard to create a 2/2 zombie. Alright, get a 2/2 zombie, and then they'll get another 2/2 zombie next turn. Silent Departure is really good against those tokens, so glad I didn't Silent Departure my own Golos for memes. Because now I'll just be getting those out of the way. And because I'll be doing that, I won't need the Sweltering Suns to get rid of them. We'll cycle that away. Rada's really nice here. If I had a green mana, definitely really want to hit a green mana. Actually, because of that, there is still an argument for just Silent Departure and Golos for a green mana. Yeah, you know, with Rada coming up, that does seem pretty important. I'm actually just going to not kill their token here because of that. Let's get a green mana. And we might as well get the Triome, as much green as possible. Actually, I like the Scry one as well. Let's get a green mana and Scry one. Multani, you can stay right there, my friend. See if we're trading zombies. Looks like we are. And our opponent is down to 15. We only have the first green for Multani, but Dawn-Treader Elk can get us the second green. Rada could have a pretty good chance at hitting the second green soon as well. So we don't get to cast Multani next turn, but we've still got the action of everything else we have in hand. Plus, we could just spin the wheel off of Golos now that we have the green for it. So I guess we're probably just doing that. Seeing if we can hit Yarok. If we can hit Yarok, that's just hilarious. Just hoping that our opponent doesn't have any counter spells up in whatever they're playing. I'm not sure, really. I mean, they definitely have white, red, blue, black. They're just also 4-color, I guess. Divine Visitation's pretty terrifying. I don't have a way to interact with that right now. Let's just spin the wheel with Golos. Land, Flamespill, land. Okay, well, definitely gonna play a Triome. Get a Zambi. Flamespill we'll cast, because we can. I can only play it till the end of turn, right? Yep, I can only play them this turn, so do it now. Get as much damage as we can in. They're down to 5. They don't gain any life or scry any cards, because we killed all their zombies. But now they have Dawn of Hope with Divine Visitation. They have enough mana to make 2 4/4s. If they sacrifice all of their treasure tokens. 2 4/4s doesn't save them, though. They can block our 3/5 and our 2/2, and then they take 5 from the 2/2s and the 1/1. Ooh, and they actually had to pay for a Sacred Foundry here, too. Putting them to 3 life. Now they're very, very close to dead. They'll have to do something really good here to survive. What have they got? Finale of Glory for 7 to get 7 4/4 flyers. I was like, alright, opponent, you gotta do something really good here. They were like, alright, hold my beer. Okay, well, we get a zombie off of Aether Hub, and I think we spin the wheel. Probably should have spinned first in case I hit Yarok, but need something insane here. Enter the God Eternals kills one of those, and I gain 4. Then I take damage from 6 of them still, so 6, that's 24. But I've got a 2/2 flyer. I'm going to have a Chainweb Arachneer as well. Oh god. Alright, well this is rough. Oh, if only Enter the God Eternals could do 4 to a player, that would have been so beautiful there. Okay. I think I just play Chainweb Arachneer to have another flying blocker. I can attack with my 5/5 zombie army, and I'm killing one of their flyers by doing that. Just trying to whittle down their blockers here. Yeah, and that's one less that can attack me this turn, so I'm less likely to just die. I have 2 blockers against their 5 flyers. They can only hit with 3, so I don't think they attack this turn. They probably just double Dawn of Hope. Then they have 7 blockers. I have 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers. What do I have in my deck? Do I have anything that does like damage to their face? No, I have like Lich's Caress and some random dorks. Callous Dismissal would be good too. I might just lose to Dawn of Hope plus Divine Visitation now. The Finale of Glory was super clutch. Mythos of Aluna to copy Divine Visitation. Why? That doesn't actually change anything. I still get the same number of flyers. That's really weird. Well, I guess at least they used those 2 cards instead of just tapping all their lands. They could have just tapped all their lands to Dawn of Hope's ability and gotten the same amount of flyers out of it. I have Silent Departure in my grave, so I have one way to kill things. I guess, oh, these have Vigilance. They have Vigilance too? Jeez. So they get to just freely attack in. Well, because they have Vigilance, I think he would just attack all, right? I guess my opponent disagrees with this. Chainweb Arachnir gets to come out and kill one of them, so I guess I'm blocking there. They have 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're blocking there. We're not going to be able to have more attackers than they have blockers. Anyway, Callous Dismissal as the draw means I kill 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I kill 2 of them this turn with Callous Dismissal plus Silent Departure, or Chainweb Arachnir and Callous Dismissal. Let's Callous Dismissal one of them. I can kill another one, and then they have 5 left, and I have 5 attackers, so I don't get to attack in there. But I get to set up for next turn attacking in by doing Chainweb Arachnir here, have another big attacker on this board. Definitely not exiling our Silent Departure. We want to have that in our grave. And I play another... Oh, wait, no, I don't have enough green to play another creature this turn. That's kind of rough. That's what I was really wanting to do. Oh, it still does a damage when it dies? Friggin' weird little stupid devil angels. Why does it still? Create 2, 1. They have, when this dies, it deals 1 to any target. So I guess it says it just creates a 4/4 flying Vigilance Angel instead, but I guess this, after the tokens are made, whatever the tokens end up being, it then adds that ability to them. That's so weird. That is a really weird interaction. Anyway, I can't attack in here. All right, they get 2 blockers. Ooh, I might have a chance now. So they have 6 blockers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers. I kill 1 next turn off of Silent Departure. All right, well, if I draw like 1 more removal spell, I have a chance, but that's really unlikely. If I just like top deck Lich's Caress. Shut up. He can't keep getting away with it. They have 4 blockers for my 4, 5, 6 attackers. Yeah, that's just it. Oh my god. Thank you, top deck. You are an absolute warrior. That was incredible. Good lord, this cube's ridiculous. I think we're at 6 wins now with this pile of nonsense. I don't know what I'm doing at this point, but the cube is rewarding me, so it's okay. Oh. 6-2 right now. We're heading into the final boss, win or loss. This is the last round. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm pretty clueless when it comes to the 5-color strategies, but I guess it turns out when you get Golos and Field together, it can do ridiculous things. Oh boy. Well, it is nice to show off this strategy. That was an insane game altogether. I don't know what else to say there, but that was just nuts the whole way through. All right. We're going to keep this. We've got turn 2 Abrade or Callous Dismissal, turn 3 Aven Eternal. Lots of ways to slow our opponent down. We don't have like our win conditions or our late game plays here, but we obviously don't even want those in the early game anyway. We want to draw into those over time if we're lucky. I think it's definitely a fine keep. Sacred Foundry. I can actually play that first, and now my Sulphur Falls will come into play untapped. Since that is a mountain, they're going to Brain Maggot us and be like, what is going on over here? What is this 5-color nonsense? Maybe they take Abrade, yeah, because I was going to say, otherwise I can just Abrade Brain Maggot and get back whatever. So we'll play the Arachnir, I guess. I'm not going to Callous Dismissal. Don't see a huge point in that. Alright, 3 mana up. Let's send in the Chainweb Arachnir and drop Aven Eternal. I want to play around in Essence Scatter here because I feel like I just keep getting Essence Scattered today, so play our weaker creature first. Panharmonicon. Well, now that they're tapped out, we're definitely just dropping down Mega Godzilla. Play this tapped. And do that. Definitely playing Mechagodzilla pre-combat, so it gets a counter here. Just attack with everybody. We would love to trade with Brain Maggot. Get our Abrade back. So all of their enter the battlefield effects happen twice now. But no play from our opponent there. Okay, go to combat, send in with everybody again. If they have a pump spell, they can kill Mechagodzilla with it. Alright, down to 8. Now we get to play a Rashmi, which can be very nice. In the upcoming turns, we draw a card off of that every turn that we cast something at least. Even if we don't get to play something for free, even if we don't get lucky off of it, we are drawing cards. Warbriar Blessing, they can fight twice, but I don't think they'll want to. I guess that only triggers off of creatures and artifacts, so they couldn't fight twice anyway. Now I have Golos to pick up Field of the Dead. We'll cast it first in case we hit something we want to play off Rashmi. Just a land, so we draw into that. Grab our Field of the Dead. Play the land, that'll give us a zombie. Pretty beautiful. Pretty beautiful stuff altogether. Send in with everybody. This might be a 7-win run with this 5-color deck. Our opponent's deck has stumbled and didn't really get to do anything, so this doesn't seem like a super fair win, but it's a 7-win run. I mean, you gotta take those. Sometimes it happens. Our opponent was on Sultai as well, right? Green, blue, and black, so they could have had Yarok and Panharmonicon to quadruple all their enter the battlefield effects, or I guess just triple them. I'm not sure how that stacks exactly, but that would be really fun. So, sad to see our opponent get a little screwed there. I don't even know what they were screwed on. They had 4 mana. They had 3 colors. But I guess just not a lot of action drawn. So, I guess a 7-win run with the 5-color Field of the Dead deck. Again, I don't know. I don't think I drafted that particularly well. I think you definitely want to draft non-basic lands very highly. But even then, I probably drafted those non-basics too highly and didn't end up with that many like really powerful cards in my deck. That being said, I feel like our deck was definitely just running high off of the fact that we managed to pick up Golos and Field of the Dead and Yarok. Well, really just Golos, Field of the Dead, and Multani. Those just 3 really powerful, big, bomby cards that are perfect for that kind of strategy. So that definitely helped out, helped us survive through multiple misplays and win the game anyway. Ooh. Stonks, free gold. All right, I'm glad I checked out the daily deals there at the end. But yeah, I mean, that was certainly a fun run. I'm glad I did the Field of the Dead deck at least once there. But that's going to end the video, so thank you all as always for watching. If you enjoyed the video, stick around right where you're at, and there will be more Magic Arena drafts coming every day. So, as always, thank you very much for sticking around, hanging out, especially if you made it to the end of the video. And I will see you tomorrow.